Hello and welcome to my channel, J.I. Colorist. Today we are continuing on in our color pencil comparison series. We are doing a page from Johanna Basford World of Flowers, and we have been doing a different pencil brand in each of the boxes on this page. Today we are going to do the pencil brand that was selected by you, my subscribers, and that was Crayola. So we are going to do Crayola. I have the 60 pack, and I have spent a little bit of time playing with the Crayola on some other coloring pages before I tackle this square right here. So let's put the book away, put some paper underneath, and we'll get started. I have only 2 spots left, so I do know what this one is going to be, and that will be our final one, hoping to have all of these done in the month of January 2023 as part of our Johanna in January hashtag. So I'm going to zoom you in, so close your eyes if that bothers you. Okay, so as with all of the color pencil brands, I do some coloring beforehand. I do some research online to find out as much information as possible on these brands. So as I am coloring, I will go through those questions and answers with you. And at the end of this video, I will include a picture of all of the answers that I'm going to go over. Okay, so first off is how many pencils are in the Crayola series. And according to Crayola's website themselves, there are 120 unique colors. Crayola also includes, they have something called Colors of the World, which is a skin tone set. They have a metallic set. And then, of course, they have regular crayons or pencil crayons. They come pre-sharpened. I have the 60 set of 120, so I have about half of the pencils. So I do not own all of them. I'm doing light pressure here. We're just working on the background. Each pencil, the end is not capped, which is fine. You can see the core. It's a full barrel colored pencil. It has gold writing on it. It says Crayola. Then it has the color name in 3 different languages. So turquoise. So I know one is English, one is French, and then I'm not sure if the other one is Spanish or something. So my first, one of the first questions that I answer is, are they available open stock, or how are they available? And these are available in department stores and online on Amazon. Crayola does have a dedicated website, so you can also purchase them directly from there. So both online and in store is my answer for that. On the pencil, as I said, they do have the color name, but there are no numbers, which is fine, as long as there is at least a name, which is helpful. They are a wax-based pencil. They are definitely a student quality. They are a little bit scratchy, meaning they feel a little bit dry. They don't feel like they're a wax pencil, but they don't feel creamy. So these are not new pencils. These have been around my house for quite a while. And I don't ever typically reach for these pencils. These are pencils that I would have had from when you're in school. They're that old. So I think these are from my son's high school type era. Okay, the case that they come in, all the packaging for a Crayola are in cardboard boxes. So none of them are tins. They can get some specialty items in tins, but those were specialty pencils. Okay, I'm going to switch to a different color. They have lots of blues to choose from. In fact, I'll pull out all the blues. So there's a good range of colors, which is nice. So all of the different blues that I have. And then there's a bunch of teal type colors. So for a 60 set, you certainly get quite the selection. So I'm just going to grab a bit darker of a blue. Blue is called True Blue. We'll zoom you back in. So as I mentioned, they are cardboard cases. There's no sign or no information on the core size, but I would imagine it's like 3 point something because it is very similar to every other pencil out there. It doesn't seem like a small core, so typically 3.7, 3.8 millimeter is a standard pencil core, so that's what I'm guessing at. Okay, I'm just going to keep doing the background a little bit around the flower, and then along the edge, do a little bit darker. The purple around the boxes is a Posca paint pen. I'll continue on with the background, and once I'm done the background, I'll be back with more answers, and we'll start on the flower. Okay, I'll bring you back. I've done a couple of layers of the two different blues, and now I'm going to bring in Gamsol on a clean Copic marker. So just going to do some blending. First blending just the light blue together, and then I'll blend the light blue into the darker blue. And I'm doing Gamsol because I've treated all of the squares the same so that we know how each pencil brand reacts to the different ways of blending. I do have a white pencil, so we will be blending also with white. While these pencils do feel scratchier than other brands that I've been using, they do have still good pigment. So okay, we'll let that dry, and we can always come back in with more layers should we need them. Let's pick some colors for our flower while we're letting that dry. Okay, this is kind of looking like an orchid type flower to me, so I immediately think of purples. So I have brought out 4 different purples, and they are violet purple, orchid, lilac, and pink rose. So we'll just kind of play with that and see how they work. So I'm just going to start with the lighter color and do the very edge of these back flower petals. I have, these are, as I mentioned, these are older pencils, so I have had some breakage issue when I was coloring with them on another page, but I'm not going to fault the pencil for that because they are old. I'm sure they've been banged around enough, so I don't know the full life cycle of these pencils, so I'm not it was not unexpected to have some breakage. Okay, this is the orchid. They do sharpen to a nice point. They are a harder pencil, even though they are wax, so they do keep their point for longer than, say, a softer wax pencil would. So that's kind of nice. And I just have a piece of parchment here protecting the paper from my hand oils, so if you're wondering why it looks a little fuzzy. And I will grab the white pencil and do some blending with the white, and also to see if we can lighten up the edge. So that's getting back to some of my questions. is there light fast information on these pencils? And the answer is no. Nor do I expect there to have been. These are, like I said, a student grade fun pencil brand. I'm not expecting museum quality art from these, so it's not a big deal that there's not light fastness, especially if you're just working in a coloring book. The next question is the country of where these were made. And according to my box, this set that I am working with are made in Brazil. So there is another country to add to our list of countries making colored pencils. I'm not sure if all of their pencils are made in Brazil, but I know that the packaging for my particular pencils, that's where they're made from. So the white did blend, but it doesn't, like if I go over this, I'm not really seeing any difference with the white. So the white is definitely not a opaque white. So I'd probably would be blending more with a blender pencil or Gamsol rather than using the white to blend. So the pros for this set is, one of the pros is that these are readily available everywhere. They're a pencil that's pretty sturdy, so I mean they can get knocked around a little bit. So they're not, and they're really cost effective. They're very inexpensive. You don't mind if your kids are playing with your pencils, so you don't mind if you accidentally have one roll off the floor because it's not a $5 pencil and you're not so sometimes that takes the stress out of coloring, is when you know that what you're coloring with isn't, you know, precious and dear. You can have a little bit more fun coloring. So the pros would be that they are easy to find. They do have a metallic and a skin tone set, so that's kind of nice. You can buy a variety of sizes. They do hold their point. I can get into really tiny areas, so that is also a bonus. So the cons that I noticed for these pencils is no open stock. So, you know, if you use up all of a certain color, you're going to have to either substitute for a similar color in the box, or you're going to have to buy another box. So that's a little bit of a drawback. The other item that I found hard is the metallic writing on the pencil, especially because you have 3 different languages over here. It's very hard to read one, so you go to the next one and then you just get confused because that's not even in English. So I found it hard to read the pencils, and depending, you know, a darker color pencil, it's a little bit easier to read, but if you're looking at, say, white, reading that is very hard. And the gold does flake off, so the printing. So if you're someone who's struggling with seeing, that's going to be an issue for you. Crayola is not the only one that has that issue. Okay. Going to look and see if I have some other colors I can use other than purple. Hang on. Okay, just for the sake of making this flower a little bit more interesting, we are going to add 2 more colors, and it's going to be sand and peach. And I just want to see how colors blend, and so we don't have to have our flower doesn't need to be scientifically accurate. It is a coloring book. Colors do blend well together, these 2 colors anyways, and they're not far from each other. I don't, so far I haven't been getting any wax buildup per se. So I don't know if that's just because they are quite dry, like they don't, you can't get many layers on them. Like I'm adding another layer here and nothing's happening pretty much. So very, very few layers capable. Would I recommend these pencils? I'd recommend the pencils for who these pencils are made for, which is basically students, you know, kids. If you're an adult coloring person, I think that there's other pencils out there. I mean, if this is where you're starting from, then, and you like them, by all means, you know, they're easy to find, and that's a good thing. So use them. But would I recommend somebody going out and buying these for their adult coloring books? Probably not. I do find, like I said, the layering, you know, nothing's happening here. I'm trying to add another layer. So I'd say more than 3 layers is not something that's going to happen, at least not on this paper. Now we're treating all of these pencils on the same paper, and we're doing the same for each brand so that we're giving everybody the fair and the same shake. So just pushing harder with a darker pencil to see if I can brighten that up a little bit. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but it's quite scratchy. I'll just sharpen it and see if that helps. Sharper point seems to be a little less scratchy. I hope you've enjoyed this color pencil comparison. It's remember, these are, you know, my experience with these pencils on one type of paper. I do use them, like I said, on some other paper and coloring books first to, you know, break in and get used to the pencils a little bit, but everybody colors a little bit differently. Okay, that is all we're going to do. We've used the white to blend, we've used Gamsol, we've tried blending different colors together. When you compare the pencils and you just look, I mean, the look is fine. I'd be happy to complete a page. Would I reach for them? Probably not, but I wouldn't also throw them away. So I would keep these as a backup set. If you have a specific color that you like and you run out, that's the only problem, is you will have to go and substitute with a different color or buy another box when they go on sale in September. Thanks for joining me today. We have, I'll zoom you out. Hang on. A quick look at how our page is looking overall. We have split the large section here into 2. I thought at the beginning of this that I would do polychromos in this section. However, I've decided not to do that. Last week we covered, this section was done in Prismacolor. So to do this section here, I thought I would do what people are now touting or saying is a good Prismacolor comparable pencil. So I will be doing Artex pencils, the 126, in this section. You will see that next week, and then we will be done this whole page. I hope you've enjoyed this series. I will do a final quick review at the end in a separate video that explains each one in case you've missed which pencil brand is in each one. I have been keeping track, so I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for joining me. Have a great week. Bye-bye.